I thought I'd tell you a little cautionary tale. When I was in Dealz, which is a coin shop, euro shop, dollar shop, call it what you will, I noticed they were selling these bicycle locks for $1.49. Anyone who owns a bicycle knows security is important. Even a fairly cheap bicycle that you can pay for €100 for in Halfords, could be worth 10 or 20 quid to a bike thief, who's desperate enough. So investing in a good lock is important, and I was kind of thinking, well, how much security do you get in a lock for $1.49? And I honestly thought you don't get very much security at all. So here it is. You can sort of pull back the sheathing and see the steel rope inside, which actually doesn't look too bad. No, it's skinny, but there's some security. The key's a bit wonky, but there you go. The lock itself, I've noticed, looks a bit splayed out, looks a bit damaged. Because the key, it seems to be made of a very soft brass, and my son was playing with this yesterday and opening it and closing it, and that seems to have actually just caused a little bit of damage, even though he's only 6, and I don't know how much damage a 6-year-old could do, but there you go. So what I want to do is, there's a cautionary tale here. I want to see if I can pick it. I've done this before very quickly, and I'm not a skilled lockpicker. It's not something I want to get involved in. But I was just curious, because the only reason I got the lockpicks is because I actually lost the key to a previous bike lock, and I was desperate to get it. It was sitting in the company car park for a couple of weeks, and eventually it was a good lock, and I couldn't cut through it. So eventually I got the set of lockpicks and spent about half an hour picking the lock, and I got in there eventually. So well, I failed to pick the lock for the video. Now, I have picked it previously. I did it a few times this morning, and I did it in about 20-30 seconds, which for someone who doesn't really have a lot of experience lock picking, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm sure good lock picks could do it for a lot quicker. I believe there's a group in Holland called Dealz, T-O-O-O-L, who are hobby lock pickers, and they're kind of considered the experts on such matters. If you wanted to have a look at their site, you'd probably figure out what's good and bad. But yeah, what actually has happened is the more this lock is used or picked, even just using the regular key, the more it gets damaged, and the brass here, the brass barrel is starting to splay apart. That's a lot thicker, more spread apart than it was when I got it. So it's not so much a warning about insecurity, it's a warning about the fact that if you're wasting 150 on a lock that's going to fall apart pretty quickly, or get to the point where you're actually you won't be able to get the key in and get it to work. It's working okay now, but it jams up, and the last thing you want is to be sitting in the dark outside your office trying to get your bike unlocked and you can't get the key to work. So the reality is how most bikes are stolen and how most locks are cracked is either they use something like that there. Let's just see if it'll cut through the steel wire. I don't think there is any doubt it will, although steel wire and bolt cutters generally don't work. There we go. Like a hot knife through butter. Would it go through the rope as well? Let's see. Sorry, the sheathing. It actually might cut better because you're something that's grabbing onto the fibers and keeping them together. Actually, so it cut through the rope, but it didn't cut through the sheathing. But anyway, there you go. You bit through that in no time. So only a pair of pliers would finish that off. With the foot back. So, like all in all, it's I don't really know what the purpose of this video was, to be honest with you. It was a quick demonstration of why you really shouldn't waste your money on something like this. It's rubbish. The lock's easily picked, but even if it isn't picked, it's going to wear out pretty quickly and get to the point where it's going to jam up and you're not going to be able to open it yourself. Secondly, you can cut through the rope and the sheathing pretty quickly. Sorry, the steel rope and the sheathing pretty quickly. And I'm actually sure a good set of heavy-duty pliers could cut through this without even needing to carry a set of bolt cutters. And like even like Dremel tools, for like battery operated Dremel tool will be through this in no time at all with a cutting wheel on it. Like they come with these fiberglass cutting wheels, which will. I actually used to remove a wheel clamp on someone who clamped our car in our private parking space. So I had to do that a few years back. Oh, shut up, Darby. That's my dog. Anyway, so look, if you've got a bike, even a cheap bike like €100 bike you got out of Halfords just for getting to work, honestly, invest in a good lock. You really, like, you've got Krypton locks, Oxford locks, those are good brand names. Remember though, a lock doesn't buy you absolute security, it buys you time. At the end of the day, if someone really, really wants to get your bike, they'll get your bike. And if they can't get through using a pair of pliers or lock picks or bolt cutters, they might go back and get an angle grinder or some sort of heavy duty cutting equipment. They'll get through, basically. So invest in the best lock you can, realistically, and get one that has like a guarantee on it. Like a lot of the lock manufacturers will actually say, look, if someone cuts through our lock and takes your bike, we'll guarantee your bike up to $2,000, $3,000, euros, or whatever. And the beauty of a good quality lock is even if you have it on a cheap bike, and you get a new bike, you've still got the lock. And if you lose your bike, how are you going to get to work? You're going to have to spend money on buses. So even if it is a cheap bike, so anyway, having a good lock's important. So anyway, there we go. Don't buy cheap locks. That's basically what I'm saying. And I don't really understand why people would buy this. You're 150. It's a pile of crap. Anyway, cheers. Bye.